When I was a small kid, I think the first thing that I designed was a house, a small house for my pet turtle. So I would bring rocks and plants, and in this small aquarium I would have water. But after a few weeks, there was a small earthquake, then it kind of moved, and then the rock was like kind of like this, and my pet turtle drowned, and then he died. And I guess, yes, that was my first design, and one of my biggest mistakes was that I killed my pet turtle. I think that the fact that when I moved to Tokyo when I was 10, I was really shocked. I was really surprised about the cultural difference, and I was really excited about so many things, especially the things that normal Japanese kids will feel normal. I was really excited about all these things. And for instance, in Japan, at schools, we have like 4 different pairs of shoes, like one for the gym, one for indoors, one for, I don't know, for something else. It was shocking that there's so many different shoes that you have to wear, and I thought that that was really cool in a way, because it's like formatting yourself. You become formatted to that scene in a way. I think that way of seeing things, which is about seeing normal things in a slightly different way and trying to find something interesting from it, is a very important factor of this job. You have to see the normal world, always asking yourself, what if? For instance, like this bottle with water inside it, it's something very normal and something that you see every day, but you have to twist the cap 3.5 times to open and close. And I think, what if you don't have to twist the cap, or this is something that you can drink only by yourself, but what if several people can enjoy the drink at once? It links people together, and all these details and segments that create this bottle, I try to see it with a question mark in my mind, always asking myself, what if, and then in the end, sometimes you come up with an interesting idea. There's 2 types of realities. One is notional and one is physical. And when you only look at the physical reality, it really narrows your mind in a way. But when you look at the notional reality as well, which is if someone asks you to design a chair and you only think of a physical chair, that is really narrowing your mind in a way. But when you feel that if it looks like a chair or if it feels like a chair, suddenly it broadens your mind and it allows more ideas to rise in your mind in a way. I think it's very important as a designer not to narrow your mind as much as possible and try to see in a broader way, to have a broader vision. What makes Tokyo interesting and really is inspiring is that it's never silent. There's always noise in the city, and for me, this noise is not really distracting. I think true silence really kind of scares me in a way, but the fact that there's always this noise, always information flying around, I think it gives me a lot of inspiration in a way. It's always about repeating things. I wear the same white shirts, black pants. I try to repeat every single thing, and then I start to notice these small differences in everyday life. I notice that there's a crack on the floor which wasn't there yesterday. I notice something has changed slightly. And I think these small moments become inspirations for myself. In architecture, my teacher would tell me to think big, see the grand picture first. So it's about thinking about how would the city look, therefore how should the streets and the building look, and then how should the rooms be designed, and then the furniture and small objects. So it's always this top-down kind of way of seeing things. But after I started as a designer, I started thinking maybe it could be the opposite way of thinking, which was I can start from a small teacup and then start to think about what kind of table would be appropriate for this teacup. And then after the table, I can design the room and then the architecture, and then maybe it could even develop into a city-scale design as well. And this bottom-up way of thinking is really helping myself. It's always about coming up with small ideas that make big differences. I've been working on a great amount of projects. They kind of link together in different ways. It's almost like the zodiac sign. Like there's all these stars, and then when you connect the correct stars, you see a different picture. It creates a different story. One of the greatest moments in my career is when I met Mr. Miyake. One day he called me and he said, I want you to design a chair using my paper. I didn't understand what he was talking about, so I visited his studio. He showed me this big roll of the paper that was thrown away in the process of the production of his Please Please collection. And he thought it was a pity that all this paper is thrown away, and I would just cut and peel. And then in the end, it became something like a chair. It became chair-ish in a way. I showed it to Mr. Miyake, and then he said, this is beautiful, I like it. And so I said, okay, so I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna finish, I'm gonna make a chair out of this. He said, no, it's a chair already, it's done. And it was very shocking to me, because when I was trained as an architect, I was told that there has to be a goal and then you have to run there. So what Mr. Miyake told me was that there are several goals. It's not a single goal. And this freedom was what I was looking for, and it really changed my life. A good design is something. It should not be too complex. It has to be something that is very easy to understand. I feel that a good design is something that you can tell your grandmother on your phone. She doesn't see any pictures or any renderings. She has zero knowledge about design, but you just tell the idea, and if she feels it's really exciting, I think that is good design. When it becomes simple, it becomes global. I just enjoy what I do. The happiest moment of my life is I'm in my room alone with my dog, and I'm just sketching and I'm thinking about crazy ideas, and that's my happiest moment. There's like a goddess who smiles at you, and then people who are waiting for the goddess will never look at you. But if you're focusing on something else, you're working really hard on what you really like to do, I feel that this goddess gets jealous and she comes to you, leads you to success in a way. So people who are looking for success never ends up successful. But people who are focusing on what they're doing, enjoying what they're doing, in the end, I think he or she is very close to success. Does that make sense?